Good morning, everyone. My name is Tara Lorimer. I am the founder of Luxury Getaways up in Washington State in Arizona, and I am the vice president of VRNation. Welcome back. It's great to see familiar faces joining us again for the third and final webinar in our series with Booking.com. If you're new here, VRNation is a national organization with roots in the Pacific Northwest, originally founded in 2010. Our mission here is to elevate the short-term rental industry through education, networking, advocacy, and a strong supportive community of property managers. We host a bi-weekly webinar series and a weekly podcast, both designated and designed to keep you learning, growing, and connected with others who truly get this business. We've loved collaborating with Booking.com for this series, and today we are wrapping up things with another great session. So let's get started. Please help me welcome Emily Tusick with Booking.com for our third and final education webinar. Welcome, Emily.
Thanks so much, Tara. All right, so just to do a quick recap on our previous webinars in the series. The first webinar was about the value of partnering with Booking.com and the basics. Our second was myths, so about a lot of the common misconceptions about Booking.com. And then today is our final webinar in the series about boosting your results. You can watch replays of the first two webinars if you missed them on the VRNation website. And then upcoming events. So the 2026 VRNation annual conference will be in Denver, Colorado this year, my hometown, very exciting. And that will be April 28th to the 30th. So thank you, VRNation, for having me. I'm so excited to share how Booking.com can help you grow your vacation rental business. So what we do for travelers increasingly seek diverse accommodation options beyond traditional hotels, and Booking.com caters to this demand by offering a wide array of vacation rentals, so from cabins to beach houses to urban apartments and desert retreats. And then what we do for our partners, so for property managers, this means access to tools and services designed to help scale your business and promote your properties efficiently, which ultimately increases bookings and revenue for you. So when using Booking.com, you're looking at the right place for vacation rental business growth. Vacation rentals now represent 1/3 in room nights booked globally on Booking.com, and we have welcomed 1.8 billion vacation rental guests. So the demand is here and it's growing. Guests often come to our platform with a destination in mind rather than a specific accommodation type. So this means your listings get exposure to travelers who might not have considered booking a vacation rental at first, but are open to it once they see the option. So first, I'm going to talk about some upgrades we've made to the platform. Booking.com is continuously investing in technology to launch exciting new features to enhance the vacation rental experience for both our guests and our hosts. Discovering vacation rentals is an essential part of Booking.yeah. So AI-powered search, this has really been a game changer. Travelers can use natural and conversational language, like I want a house close to the beach that's good for families and our dog with air conditioning to find properties. This means your detailed property amenities become even more valuable, and it's always a great best practice to detail any and all amenities that you have. If you accurately list amenities like air conditioning or pet friendly, your property will show up in the search results using that example. So this leads to better matched bookings for you. We also translate those conversational searches into smart filters, presenting the most relevant properties to travelers. So Booking.com will highlight your property's unique selling points personalized to each traveler's search, making your listing stand out and help convert more lookers into bookers, showing you at your best. So as we all know, first impressions matter. And based on our research, we found that 63% of travelers rely mainly on photos when searching for a stay. So let your photos speak for themselves with our enhanced display of search results. The vibe of your property is obvious at a glance thanks to our larger photography, while still effectively showcasing your key benefits. And then on the guest end, the Gen AI-powered assistant is accessible anytime by travelers. So we use it to provide guidance and information to the traveler about their trip, including helping them make changes to their date based on your policy. Guests can also harness the power of our connected trips. So, vacation rental travelers, especially families, want to plan transportation ahead of time, and our upgraded connected trip experience will help them plan around affordable flights, get transportation recommendations, pre-book airport parking, and add extras to their car rentals, such as car seats. This is the future of effortless trip planning, and ultimately it leads to happier guests for you when they arrive at your property. So, now moving on to performance foundations, how our performance tools can help you. So, diving into the details, maximizing your availability, creating solid foundations, showing your unique benefits, utilizing payments by booking, and unlocking family travel potential can all ultimately boost your performance on booking.com. So the first thing I will go into is finding the right balance between restrictions and availability. Considering your restrictions and evaluating your availability helps you find the right balance. So, for example, minimum stay rules. They can really boost your revenue per booking, but on the flip side, they can also limit your guest pool, especially for those looking for a shorter domestic trip. And then longer stays, they're great for reducing your turnover costs. However, they can lead to frustrating unbooked gaps in your calendar. So when it makes sense, don't be afraid to maintain shorter minimum stays. This can help you capture more bookings, especially for travelers looking for a quick getaway. And then applying a solid pricing foundation with flexibility that works for you. So a variety of policies and pricing can help you meet diverse guest needs. For example, we've found that offering a 5-day flexible policy can increase your booking likelihood by 75%. And 22% of travelers seek group-friendly stays. So make sure your occupancy settings are always accurate to boost your performance and get new additional bookings. We also have some other tools that can help you achieve this. So mixing flexible and non-refundable rate plans to capture different guests. Some guests are willing to pay a higher rate for more flexibility, while others just want the most competitive pricing. So definitely recommend offering multiple rate plans if you're able to. And then, while not as common for vacation rental hosts, consider using occupancy-based pricing for different group sizes. And then lastly, if you're new to the platform, you can implement a new property deal to boost initial visibility on the platform.
Can I ask you a quick question about that, Emily?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of the property managers here are going to be connected through either a channel manager or a direct connection with their PMS system. What is the best way to go and update these per property? So if I wanted to do a new property deal or
Mhm.
occupancy-based pricing, would I do that directly in the booking.com app or would I do it through the channel manager?
Yeah, so in most cases, you're going to use your channel manager, or if you have an all-in-one property management system that works as your channel manager, either through multiple rate plans or what's called the promotions API, if it's enabled for that specific channel manager. If it is not available via your channel manager, and just a caveat for most of our vacation rental software partners, these things are implemented within their system, so you don't have to go on the booking.com extranet. But if they don't have it, what you can do is create those in from the group homepage. There's a bulk editing section where you can implement these things. And how it would work is that would feed off your standard rate plan that's coming from your channel provider. So in most cases, it's going to be available through your provider. In the rare situation that it's not, if it's a provider that doesn't have this specific API enabled, you can still implement multiple rate plans and different promotions. It would just feed off of your standard rate.
Okay. Okay. So I'd have to find out if my specific provider had that API connection in order to make the changes within the software. Otherwise, I have to do it through the booking.com app. What I find is depending
Mhm.
on who the online travel agency is, they'll be overridden at midnight or every 8 hours whenever there's an update if I don't update it in the right place.
Mhm.
So doing your updates within an app or within your PMS software, it varies. And so getting it right is always the key.
Yeah, no, definitely. And each one's a little bit different. If you're trying to determine if this is something that your provider has, I recommend like going to their help or knowledge base and searching booking.com promotion. If you can't find anything in their knowledge base, reach out to their rep first and they'll be able to give you the best advice on whether they can do it within their system or if it's something that you would do within the booking.com extranet.
Okay. All right. I'll start with the channel manager first.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so showing you at your best, as I mentioned before, first impressions definitely matter. And as previously mentioned, photos are the go-to information source for 63% of guests. Some other fun facts and things that you can utilize. 66% of families seek information about parking options. So always make sure to update your parking information. It's something we find that isn't always updated or it's just missing from the platform. So I recommend checking with your channel provider to make amenity is syncing through because this can definitely help increase your bookings with families. And then always update your content early to catch guests booking 2 to 4 months in advance. Some other advice on how to showcase your property. So add at least 10 images. I definitely recommend adding more than that, but it's a good starting point. And don't just include pictures of the property itself, include images of each of the unique bedrooms, your bathrooms, kitchens, any key amenities. And then something else that you can do is highlight your proximity to attractions, which helps especially again with families who are trying to plan out where they're going to be visiting on their trip. So make your photography highlights all of your unique benefits and then keep your descriptions updated to make sure you're appearing in the relevant searches. So that means any amenity that you have, make sure that's selected so that if someone is searching for that or using that as a filter, that your property will show up in those results. And then, so with payments by booking, you get guaranteed payments and fraud protection, and also offers guests the choice to pay with whichever method they prefer, which can ultimately increase your bookings. So in addition to all the standard credit card options, guests are able to pay with Apple Pay, Klarna, PayPal, Google Pay, and this flexibility for guests increases your conversion rates. Hosts who are using payments by booking also automatically get a ranking boost on the front end. So it's a win-win for both guests and hosts. And going over to some tips on unlocking family travel potential. So families now represent 1 in 4 bookings on our platform, and 40% of families travel with children age 0 to 4. So ways that you can attract family bookings. Specify your maximum occupancy for both adults and children. So while you may have a maximum occupancy of 4 adults, you might be able to include, 2 additional children under the age of 5. So make sure that those are updated. And then always list your child-friendly amenities with photos. So if you offer pack and plays or cribs or have a place on your property, those can all really attract families to booking your property. And then previously mentioned, if this is something that you're able to do, using occupancy-based pricing for different family sizes can definitely help you boost your family bookings. And then some things that booking.com does to help you stand out from the start. So if you're a new partner to booking.com, this is really cool. I don't think any of the other OTAs do this. Booking.com converts review scores from other trusted travel platforms, giving US listings an immediate credibility boost. So if you don't have any booking.com reviews yet, we will import your review scores from other trusted traveler websites. And this can really help with new listings overcoming a cold start. With vacation rentals, sometimes guests can be hesitant to book somewhere that doesn't have any established reviews yet. So this is a great way to quickly establish a presence. Your listings will also have a new to booking.com label, and this helps new properties gain visibility in their first 90 days and attract early bookings. In addition to the new property label, you also automatically get a ranking boost for your first 90 days on the platform. So you don't have to do anything. It's just automatic. you'll get a boost in the search results, which can help you get those bookings right off the bat.
Quick question, is that something we need to enable for new properties? The star rating that's imported from third parties, or is that just automatically done within the system when a new property is onboarded to Booking?
Yeah, yeah. So it's just automatically done when a new property is added to the platform. It's really cool. It
Nice.
typically takes about a week within joining the platform. So it's not immediate. And it doesn't show what the guest wrote like in a review, it shows the score. So we aggregate the review score based on different trusted traveler websites, and it will say, let me see if it says, okay, it doesn't show in any of these pictures, but what it will show is based on other trusted traveler websites, this property has a 9.5 review score based on 83 reviews from other platforms. And then when it's replaced is after you receive 3 booking.com review scores for that property, your external review score is then replaced with the booking.com review. It stays up until you have established reviews on our platform.
That's nice because I've seen it in the past where there isn't reviews on a lot of properties because they just don't have a lot of bookings yet. So I think that would
Mhm.
really make a difference.
Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. And it stays up until you have those reviews established. So it doesn't disappear after like a certain time period until you get those first 3 booking.com reviews, you'll show an external review score.
And then can a host respond to a review on this platform?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's something I definitely recommend, for both positive and maybe some reviews that have feedback. I think it's a great way to show that one, you're an engaged host, and it gives guests looking at your listing, if they haven't necessarily booked yet, if they see how responsive you are, it gives them peace of mind. Like, oh, if I book here, I know this host is going to be responsive because I can see that they respond to all of the guest reviews. Something else that we do that's unrelated to reviews is guests can actually ask questions about your property. So if it is something like, hey, how close are you to Central Park? You can answer that question and then you can click a box and choose to have it displayed on your listing profile. So you don't have to automatically show all questions visible if it's something very specific or something that you don't want to necessarily have other guests see. But if it is something that like it's a common question that is asked often, you can respond to it and choose to show that on your listing. And then this also saves you time because if it's a question that you're getting constantly, you can just have it visible on your listing profile. And then hopefully potential guests will see that and not have to, ask, and you don't have to spend the time answering that question again. So it's pretty cool.
And this is kind of an important critical piece, I think, with the
Mhm.
Booking.com platform to make it. This is an improvement for sure. One of our guests is asking, how do we link the Airbnb reviews to the new booking listing? Someone has a lot of Airbnb, reviews, especially at 5-star reviews since launching. Can you manually import those or do a click through or something to get them onto Booking if they don't exist on there right now?
Yeah, so it's not something that can be added. How it works is there's like bots that crawl the internet, and they'll compare pictures, listing title, location to make sure it is the correct property. As far as I know, there's no way to add it if you're not seeing it yet, but that's something I can definitely check on and follow up with you. I don't believe there's a way, but I will definitely double check just to make sure that I am not wrong about that.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like she has a new listing on Booking, so hopefully they can be, somehow transferred over to go from zero reviews to the 8 that are currently showing on another platform.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely doesn't happen immediately. It typically happens within a week time. So if it's a brand new listing, just keep checking it out every couple days and those should be available. After I am done sharing my screen, I can also try to quickly find an example to show you all what that looks like on the front end. on the guest end.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, so just to recap on some of the things that I talked about today, building a strong foundational setup can help you receive more bookings and seamless payments. When implementing some of the strategies discussed, you can easily attract and engage with potential guests seeking homes in your area. And then always make sure to ensure continuous availability so you can optimize your earnings over time on our platform. And then if you want to learn, oh, sorry, I meant to hide that one. If you want to learn more, so for existing partners, you can utilize our partner hub at partner.booking.com for advice, trends, and help. For new partners, if you're not using the platform yet, first start out with your channel manager because you can likely just get set up directly through them. If you're not using a channel manager or your channel manager doesn't support onboarding directly through them, you can go to join.booking.com. So thank you so much, VRNation, for having us. I will find an example what the external review score looks in the front end so I can show you all real quick.
And while you're looking for that,
Yeah,
I'm going to throw a couple of questions at you from listeners.
perfect.
It says, how do you ensure travelers see my property's unique benefits?
Yeah. So ways that we ensure travelers see your unique benefits. One, larger photography. So over the past year, we've kind of revamped our front page and the search functionality to show photos in a much larger display on both mobile and desktop. And because most travelers are using photos first to make their decision about a property, it's a great way to quickly capture guest attention. Some other things that I had mentioned earlier is the AI conversational searches. So because guests can search in their conversational language and we convert those into smart filters, if your amenities are selected, once the guest clicks on your listing page, those specific amenities that they searched will be highlighted at the top of the listing. So it's really cool. So let's say your property has both hot tub and a mountain view. There's two guests. One searches hot tub, one searches mountain view. If I'm the guest searching a hot tub and use that as a filter, when I click on your listing page, the hot tub will be the prominent amenity that's showing. If I'm the guest that's searching mountain view, that will be the prominent amenity. So we really tailor your listing to exactly what the guest is looking for when they look on your listing page. And it's a great way for your listing to be personalized to each traveler's specific search.
When you say your first answer, your first response was about adding larger photos,
Mhm.
do you mean higher resolution? Or what do you mean by larger photos? Do you mean more like quantity, higher resolution, or better quality, or what types of photos? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wide
So it's going to be
variety of rooms, indoor, outdoor? I wasn't quite sure.
it's going to be a larger display. So I'm not aware of a way that we can convert the photos that are uploaded to have a higher resolution. So the resolution will be based on whichever resolution the photos you upload are, but the picture is displayed more largely. So it's less text and a larger picture.
Okay. And
Mhm.
then do we get to decide on the sort order of the pictures that are uploaded? Are they so that we can always have like put your best, your first 5 photos in the order you want? Do we get to select that sort order? Some OTAs don't let you. And you always want your best picture first or your first 5 or 6, best ones, in that
Mhm.
order. Does booking allow that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have, if you go to your listing page and go to your photos, we do have a functionality called Smart Order, where are based on the algorithms at booking.com, we will automatically put your photos in order based on what is proven to work. However, you can turn that off and put your photos in whichever order you prefer. You can also select which photo you want to be like your hero photo. So that's going to be your photo that is in the search results and your main photo on the listing page. So if you want to put your photos in a different order than they are currently in, you would just go to your photos on that listing, turn off smart filtering, and then you can drag and drop your photos in whichever order, and then also select a different primary photo if you want to do an alternative, order than what booking.com automated.
Okay.
And then real quick, I did find an external review, so I can show you all what that looks like real quick. Okay, so here is a new property, and up in the right-hand corner, so they don't have any booking.com reviews yet. So you can see up in this corner, they have a 9.5 wonderful review score, and it's based on guest reviews from other travel websites. And then it will tell you the number of how many reviews it's based off of. So this
Great.
is,
That's
yeah,
a nice feature.
yeah,
I can appreciate that.
it's definitely a great way to establish trust right off the bat.
Okay. I have another question that's come in. It's about the setting minimum stay rules and restrictions. Do you have a set of recommendations for that? And secondly, can I set different minimum stay rules for different properties? So like all my properties that are performing better than others, can I set different rules based on their performance and go in and customize them versus just a blanket rule across all your properties at once?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can have different restrictions per rate plan, and then you can also have different restrictions per property. Some hosts choose to do dynamic restrictions. So maybe over the weekend, they have a stricter minimum stay, like a 3 day. But during the week, where they might need help boosting bookings, they might maintain like a shorter minimum stay restriction. It's likely available through your channel provider, but if it is not within your channel provider, you can also set dynamic restrictions in the booking.com extranet under your calendar page. So some partners have multiple rate plans. They might have like a more competitive rate, like a weekly rate plan that has a 5 day minimum, but the rate is a little bit more competitive. So you can really tailor those restrictions to fit your needs and capture additional bookings. And then also, like during those slower times of the year, like if your property is in an area that has seasonality, you can maintain maybe a more strict minimum stay during your really busy season and then loosen that during kind of the shoulder slower months.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Is there any other recommendations that you would use for flexible policies to increase bookings?
Yeah, so I recommend if it's something that you're able to do, having both a non-refundable and then maybe a more flexible, like 5 or 14 day cancellation policy in conjunction with a completely non-refundable rate. Because some guests really are just care about the price. They don't care if they won't have the option to cancel. They just want the most competitive pricing. And then others want the flexibility that if something happens or if they're no longer to make the trip, that they're willing to pay a higher rate for more flexibility. So if you're able to, offering both a non-refundable and a more flexible rate plan in conjunction with each other is something that I always recommend.
Great. That helps a lot, especially some of people are going into their shoulder season.
Yeah.
So kind of changing those up a little bit might help, increase
Mhm.
bookings in an off season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have any other questions that have come in, so I appreciate you joining us today and thank you so much. And any other questions that come in can be sent into info@vrnation.com or do you have your email address?
Yeah, let me put that in the chat real quick before we hop off. So anyone can feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. Let me put this in here. Okay. So yeah, make sure to save that email address and I'm happy to address any questions that we didn't get to, or if anything pops up like after this webinar, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help get that answered for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tara, and hope to see you all in Denver in April. And yeah, again, the recordings are on the VRNation website. So if you want to go reference some of the previous webinars we've done with VRNation, they're available for you there. And yeah, we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for everyone.
Yes, thank you. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.